Carole Middleton, the mother of Catherine, Princess of Wales, has navigated a delicate and often difficult role in the British royal family. Initially, Carole's entrance into the royal fold was marked by her desire to remain in the background, always the supportive mother to her daughter Kate, while respecting the traditions and expectations of the monarchy. Coming from a middle-class background, Carole was not born into aristocracy, which likely added an extra layer of complexity to her relationship with the royal family, whose members are steeped in centuries of tradition and privilege. Her early years with the royal family saw her being polite, respectful, and compliant with the norms, working to ensure that her family maintained a respectful distance from the public spotlight. However, as her daughter's relationship with Prince William grew more serious, Carole's role began to shift. With Kate's increasing prominence, Carole found herself more deeply involved in the life of the royal family. She attended public events, supported her daughter's charity work, and was even seen at some royal occasions, standing alongside the royals but always maintaining a low profile. In those early days, it was clear that Carole was working hard to fit in, not wanting to step on any toes or draw undue attention to herself. But the dynamics within the royal family were more complex than they appeared on the surface. As Kate and William's relationship grew more serious, Carole's position in the family became more precarious. She was, after all, a commoner by royal standards, and this difference in status may have led to subtle but significant tensions behind palace walls. Queen Camilla, who had spent many years in the royal fold, and was a seasoned member of the establishment, may have viewed Carole's rise with a sense of guarded skepticism. The queen consort was the epitome of royal tradition, while Carole, though polite and dignified, was not quite a part of the aristocratic circles that had dominated royal life for generations. It's said that the queen consort never fully embraced Carole, at least not as warmly as she did other royal family members, and this likely created a rift that simmered beneath the surface. This tension escalated during the planning of Kate and William's wedding. Carole, as any mother would, wanted to be heavily involved in the details of her daughter's big day. She wanted to ensure that Kate's wedding was perfect, not only for her daughter but also for the public. But Queen Camilla, who saw herself as part of the royal establishment, reportedly felt that she should have the final say in matters related to royal events. This led to friction, as Carole's desire to have a say in the wedding details was seen as stepping on the toes of the queen consort's role. Palace insiders suggested that meetings between the two women became increasingly tense, with subtle digs exchanged and passive-aggressive remarks made. What had started as a cordial relationship between Carole and Camilla became one of rivalry and power struggles. As time passed, Carole's role in the royal family continued to evolve. Although she was often kept at a distance from the most important royal events, she was determined to remain close to Kate. She wanted to ensure that her daughter, who was now a central figure in the royal family, didn't feel isolated or pressured by the traditional expectations that came with her role. Carole, ever the protective mother, made it clear that she would support Kate in her royal duties, but wouldn't let the pressures of royalty alter who Kate was, or how she lived her life. The relationship between Carole and Queen Camilla reached a breaking point when Carole, frustrated by the lack of transparency and the undercurrent of tension, made a bold decision to speak out publicly. This was a move that shocked many royal observers, as Carole had always been seen as a private figure who rarely, if ever, spoke out against royal matters. However, fed up with the years of subtle slights and underhanded tactics from the queen consort, Carole revealed details of the personal and professional power struggles that had taken place behind the scenes. Her revelations caused an immediate stir within the royal family and the media, as many had been unaware of the full extent of the tension between her and Camilla. Carole's decision to speak out was a defining moment. It was a clear statement that she would no longer remain silent in the face of what she saw as attempts to undermine her family. Her loyalty to Kate, and her desire to protect her from royal politics, drove her to expose what had been simmering beneath the surface for years. As the fallout from Carole's revelations spread, the royal family found itself embroiled in a media frenzy, with palace aides and advisors scrambling to contain the damage. The relationship between Carole and Queen Camilla had irreparably fractured, and it seemed that the rift would be hard to heal. Carole Middleton's role in the royal family has shifted dramatically over the years, from a quiet, supportive mother to a woman who isn't afraid to stand up for her family, even if it means publicly challenging the most powerful members of the royal circle. Her decision to speak out against Queen Camilla has forever changed the dynamics of her relationship with the royal family, and the repercussions of her actions continue to be felt within royal circles. The tension between Carole Middleton, mother of Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Queen Camilla has been a slow-burning issue, with layers of complexity beneath the surface. For years, Carole quietly navigated the royal family, maintaining a respectful and supportive role as the mother of the future queen consort. She was always present at key events, offering her support to her daughter while never overstepping the boundaries of royal protocol. However, the relationship between Carole and Queen Camilla, despite outward appearances of politeness, was far from smooth. At the heart of the tension lay the difference in their backgrounds. Carole Middleton, a self-made businesswoman from a modest background, was always acutely aware of her outsider status in the aristocratic world of the royals. Although she had integrated herself into royal life over time, the difference in their social standings may have created an undercurrent of unease. Queen Camilla, born into a more established aristocratic family, had a long history within the upper echelons of British society. This gap in their backgrounds, though never openly addressed, likely played a role in the subtle friction between the two women. While Carole and Camilla initially appeared to share a cordial relationship, some insiders noted that there was always a sense of competition and rivalry between them. Carole, whose primary concern was her daughter's well-being and happiness, wasn't content to merely play the role of the dutiful mother-in-law. She was fiercely protective of Kate, especially as her daughter's relationship with Prince William became more serious. Over time, Carole's role in royal life became more significant, and she was increasingly involved in decisions regarding Kate's royal duties. However, this growing involvement didn't sit well with Queen Camilla, who, as the consort of the king, had her own responsibilities and expectations to uphold. The first major crack in their relationship became evident during the planning of Kate and William's wedding. Carole wanted to ensure that the wedding reflected her daughter's wishes and vision, but Queen Camilla, as a senior member of the royal family, believed she should have had a more significant role in the planning process. Carole, understandably, wanted to make sure that her daughter's big day was perfect. Camilla, with her years of experience in royal matters, saw her role as being integral to the event. This clash over the wedding plans marked the beginning of an ongoing rivalry. As the years passed, the tension only escalated. Reports began to surface that Queen Camilla had used her influence to limit Carole's access to her daughter and grandchildren, particularly when it came to attending royal events. While Carole was supportive and present at various family gatherings, the subtle jabs from Camilla, whether intentional or not, made it clear that she didn't entirely welcome Carole's involvement. Insiders described the atmosphere at royal events as tense, with Carole trying to stay close to her daughter while Camilla seemed to seek ways to exclude her. What truly ignited the conflict, however, was the perception that Queen Camilla was trying to change Kate's role within the royal family. Camilla, as the consort of the king, expected Kate to adhere to the traditional expectations of royal wives: reserved, subservient, and dutiful. Carole, who had raised Kate to be independent and assertive, felt that these pressures were unfair and out of line with the values she had instilled in her daughter. Carole was adamant that Kate should not be forced into a mold that didn't suit her personality or aspirations. This motherly protectiveness over her daughter led to a growing resentment towards Camilla, who, according to sources, attempted to mold Kate into a more traditional royal figure. The breaking point came when Carole, fed up with the constant undermining of her role, made the bold decision to speak out. Her public statements about Queen Camilla's behavior sent shockwaves through royal circles, as it was the first time Carole had broken her usual silence. In a rare move, Carole revealed the years of tension between the two women, disclosing how the queen consort's actions had negatively impacted her family. The revelation was a bombshell, causing the palace to scramble to contain the fallout. The British royal family, known for its strict code of discretion and public unity, was suddenly thrust into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Prince William, caught between his mother-in-law and his stepmother, was reportedly furious about the situation. He had always had a complicated relationship with Camilla, and this new drama only complicated matters further. Kate, too, was said to be devastated by the situation. She had worked hard to maintain a cordial relationship with Camilla despite the underlying tension between their families, and hearing that her mother had felt compelled to speak out was difficult for her to process. King Charles, known for his diplomatic approach, reportedly tried to downplay the situation, insisting that it was a misunderstanding. However, even his efforts couldn't quell the growing media frenzy, as details of the feud continued to emerge. The once peaceful image of the royal family was now tainted by accusations of infighting and power struggles. Carole's decision to speak out not only created a rift between her and Queen Camilla, but also caused ripples within the monarchy itself, raising questions about the future of royal family dynamics. As the royal family worked to manage the damage, it became clear that the tension between Carole and Camilla was far from over. The public's reaction was divided. Some saw Carole as a protective mother standing up for her daughter, while others viewed her as stirring up unnecessary drama. The controversy had lasting implications, especially in light of the monarchy's ongoing efforts to modernize and maintain its relevance. The question remained, could the royal family move past this drama, or was it just the beginning of a new era of public scandals? The power struggle between Carole and Camilla was a reminder of the complex dynamics that exist within the royal family. While outwardly, the family may have appeared united, behind closed doors, tensions were simmering. Carole Middleton's bold actions had changed the game, and the fallout from her revelations would likely continue to shape the relationships within the royal family for years to come. The wedding of Kate Middleton and Prince William in April 2011 was a monumental event in British royal history, capturing the attention of millions around the world. It wasn't just the union of two beloved figures, but also a delicate balancing act of royal expectations, family dynamics, and a growing power struggle between the royal household and those outside it. While Kate's mother, Carole Middleton, was thrilled to see her daughter marry into the royal family, the process leading up to the wedding was far from smooth. In the years leading up to the wedding, Carole Middleton was determined to play an active role in the planning. As any mother would, she wanted her daughter's wedding to reflect her personality and wishes, not just royal protocol. However, this desire for involvement collided with the established royal hierarchy, particularly with Queen Camilla, who was still navigating her role within the royal family after her marriage to Prince Charles. While Carole aimed to ensure Kate's vision for the wedding was realized, Camilla, as the consort of the future king, felt it was her place to oversee the royal aspects of the event. What began as polite discussions between Carole and Queen Camilla over wedding details quickly turned into a battle for influence and control. Carole, who had never been a part of the royal elite, made it clear that her role as Kate's mother was central to the event. She wanted to ensure that the ceremony reflected her daughter's personality and tastes, not just adhere to royal tradition. Camilla, however, had been immersed in royal life for decades, and believed that it was her duty to safeguard the royal family's legacy and maintain the monarchy's traditions. This created an underlying tension, with both women vying for different visions of the event. As the wedding date neared, it became apparent that there were unresolved power struggles. Sources close to the family reported that the friction between Carole and Camilla reached new heights, with subtle power plays happening behind the scenes. Carole's insistence on being part of the planning process was seen by some as an attempt to assert her authority in a world where she was still considered an outsider. Meanwhile, Camilla, who had previously been portrayed as a supportive and quiet figure, was now determined to assert her role as the queen consort and ensure that the wedding reflected the royal family's standing. The public facade unity between Carole and Camilla masked the growing tensions behind the scenes. Carole, protective of her daughter and determined to make sure that Kate was happy, reportedly had to fight to ensure her influence remained. Camilla, who had always worked to present herself as a graceful and composed member of the royal family, was increasingly resistant to the idea of Carole having a more significant role in the wedding's details. At one point, it was suggested that Queen Camilla sought to limit Carole's involvement by giving the impression that her influence in royal matters was unwelcome. Despite the challenges and subtle power struggles, the wedding day itself appeared to go off without a hitch. The world watched as Kate walked down the aisle in a breathtaking Alexander McQueen gown, with Prince William by her side. But even as the couple exchanged vows, the undercurrent of tension between Carole and Camilla simmered. In private, Carole's disappointment in the royal treatment of her family began to boil over. Carole, whose own family had climbed the social ladder through hard work and determination, found the lack of acceptance by some in the royal family to be frustrating. As the months passed, the wedding's aftermath revealed the extent of the power struggles that had unfolded. Carole, now a mother-in-law to a future queen, had to contend with her place in the royal family. She remained closely involved with Kate and Prince William, but the distance between her and some of the royal family members, especially Camilla, grew. Carole had hoped that the wedding would unite their families, but instead, it highlighted the differences between them. This experience marked a turning point for Carole Middleton. No longer content to remain in the shadows, she became more vocal about her family's place in the royal narrative. Her decision to speak out about the tensions during the wedding planning sent ripples through the palace. Despite the public display of unity, it was clear that the Middleton family's rise to prominence within the royal fold had created a complicated web of loyalty, power, and influence. While the wedding may have seemed like a fairy tale for the public, it was a reflection of the ongoing power struggles and challenges that Carole Middleton faced as she navigated her place in the royal family. What began as a joyous occasion for her daughter soon revealed the difficulties of balancing family dynamics with the expectations of royal life. The wedding was not just a union of two people but also a reminder that, behind the polished exterior of royal life, there were complex power struggles at play that would shape the future of the monarchy. As tensions between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla escalated, a public fallout seemed inevitable. Carole, always known for her discretion and grace, had kept her frustration largely private. But when the constant undermining of her role as Kate's mother began to affect her daughter's happiness, Carole could no longer stay silent. Feeling that the royal family's subtle snubs were crossing a line, she made the decision to speak out. In an unexpected move, she revealed the years of tension, detailing how Camilla's attempts to control her involvement in royal matters had taken a toll on her family. Carole's bold statement shocked the royal circles and sent waves through the media, sparking a firestorm of public debate. While some sympathized with her as a protective mother, others criticized her for airing royal grievances in public. Regardless, Carole's decision to speak up shifted the dynamic between her family and the monarchy forever. The family's reaction to Carole Middleton's public statement was a mix of support, tension, and frustration. Prince William, caught between his wife's family and his stepmother, was reportedly furious. He had always struggled with his complicated relationship with Queen Camilla, and this new conflict only deepened the divide. Kate, devastated by the unfolding drama, found herself torn between the loyalty she felt to her mother and her respect for her role in the royal family. Her protective instinct was strong, but witnessing her mother's confrontation with Camilla was a bitter pill to swallow. King Charles, typically known for his diplomatic approach, seemed to downplay the situation, though insiders suggested that he was in denial, unwilling to confront the growing tensions. Ultimately, the family had to navigate the fallout with carefully chosen words and actions, though the underlying discord was impossible to ignore. The fallout from Carole Middleton's decision to publicly speak out about her ongoing tensions with Queen Camilla is reverberating throughout the royal family, highlighting just how fragile the carefully curated image of unity within the monarchy truly is. The royal family, which has long prided itself on maintaining a sense of decorum and discretion, now finds itself thrust into a rare public scandal that has forced many to reconsider the future of the monarchy. What started as a quiet feud behind closed doors has now become a battle for control, loyalty, and influence, laying bare the complexities of balancing family dynamics with the demands of royal duty. Carole's decision to break her silence has far-reaching implications, not only for her own family but for the entire institution. It sheds light on the growing tensions between the Middleton family and the more traditional factions within the monarchy. Carole, once the picture of politeness and discretion, has now become a symbol of a new kind of royal influence, one that is less bound by the constraints of old money and more willing to assert its power. Her move to go public with the details of her relationship with Queen Camilla, which had been simmering for years, has drawn attention to the very real power struggles that underpin the royal system. As the monarchy faces increasing pressure to modernize and be more relatable to the public, these tensions provide a glimpse into the challenges of keeping the royal family relevant. The public's fascination with the dynamics between the Middletons and the Windsors speaks to a broader desire to see the monarchy evolve beyond its traditional trappings. Yet the palace's reaction, a mix of damage control, silence, and subtle maneuvering, suggests that the institution is still grappling with how to navigate the evolving expectations of its role in modern society. For Prince William and Kate, the stakes are high. They have always sought to balance their public duties with their personal lives, presenting a united front that emphasizes modernity and relatability. But with Carole's public outburst, they now find themselves caught in the middle of a family drama that could have far-reaching consequences for their own standing within the royal fold. The couple's ability to manage the fallout and maintain their carefully crafted image will likely determine how they are perceived in the years to come. At the same time, this scandal forces a hard look at the role of the monarchy in a world that increasingly demands openness and transparency. King Charles, already under scrutiny for his own position and the legacy he hopes to leave, finds himself in a particularly delicate position. His desire to maintain the traditional structures of the monarchy clashes with the realities of modern life, where scandals and family tensions are no longer easily hidden away. The palace has always been adept at controlling its narrative, but Carole's decision to speak out signals a shift. The question now is whether the monarchy can weather this storm, or if it will only be the beginning of further public fractures within the royal family. As the media continues to probe deeper into the underlying issues, the royal family faces not only a crisis of image, but a fundamental challenge to its future. Will the monarchy, long an emblem of tradition and stability, adapt to a world that demands more openness, or will it remain entrenched in its outdated ways, unable to keep up with the expectations of modern society? The next few months will likely determine whether the royal family can emerge from this scandal stronger, or if this is the beginning of a new chapter in which the monarchy's future is called into question. Whatever the outcome, Carole Middleton's actions have undeniably shaken the foundations of the British monarchy, making it clear that even the most established institutions are not immune to internal strife and public scrutiny.